Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency. We are talking about partners and restoration with Daniel in studio with us this morning. And we wanted to share some information with you about how the system of pardons and restorations works in Trinidad and Tobago, how it works in the UK, and why it matters, why everyone deserves a second chance, why we need clearer laws and policy on this issue. So every year, people leave prison determined to start over. They have served their time, they have paid their debt, and they want to contribute to society, just like Daniel here and many others. But for many, a conviction sticks to them like a permanent label, even for minor offenses or things that they did as teenagers. What is the problem? In Trinidad and Tobago, there is no automatic way for most convictions to become spent or discharged or cleaned. Even if you stay out of trouble for years, you still have to disclose your record for almost every job. Getting a presidential pardon, which we will show you in a short while, is a very slow and uncertain process, and Garth will explain how he managed to get his in relatively quick time.
No, it wasn't quick time.
It wasn't?
Actually, I had the application, someone told me, drop it by me, of course, Mr. Sinclair, we'll help you sort it out, and it stayed there for a year. And I had to take it from there and take it to under the direction of Eddie Hart. I think he directed me, just a lady. I cannot remember this lady's name for the life of me.
A lawyer or justice of the peace?
No, she was working at the ministry at the time. She worked at the ministry at the time. And she was so gracious. And I remember when I was hired by CCC, they were telling me, well, by Anthony Philip Spencer, Major General Anthony Philip Spencer, and he, I hope I got his rank right, yes, Lord. But he said, you know what, God has a lot to offer. Let's bring him at CCC. It's after I had to let them know. And I remember after a year, Mr. Celestine came to me and said, hey, you know, you cannot work for the state if you have a conviction.
Right.
So we may have to let you go. As God would have it, the next day I got the call from the lady, your pardon is ready. Serious, yeah. But it took a while to, you know, for this person to move the document as I was promised.
Oh, you're lucky, really lucky to find her.
Yeah,
because
that lady, wherever you are, if she's still alive, God bless you, my sweetheart. God bless you, my dear, because now, and I'll show them the pardon in a while, which was signed by deceased
Maxwell Richards.
Yeah.
And the final issue in terms of the problem that we need to address, many people give up trying to clear their names because it feels very impossible to do. And that is the situation that Daniel is in right now. And this leaves thousands of persons shut out of work, education, and housing, and in essence locked out of the very opportunities that help prevent reoffending. If the objective is to not have that revolving door, this recidivism that we talk about, when persons leave prison and have no prospect of reestablishing themselves in society by getting decent work, by finding housing, by exposing themselves to educational opportunities. If they can't do any of those three things because of their record, it will increase their chances of reoffending and ending up right back in prison. So this is why it is so important for us to address this. In other countries, in the UK, for example, and we have some knowledge of this because of our work with the Prison Radio Association and PRI, and the fact that they are working with persons who, and in a system where even if you're in prison, once you're released, well, I'll explain. In the UK, most convictions automatically become spent after a set time, and this is enshrined in law. So if you have a minor conviction, your conviction is spent after 1 to 2 years. automatically wiped from your record. If you have done a short prison sentence, your conviction is spent after 2 to 4 years. There is no need to apply to anybody. You don't have to ask for any special favors, just a clear rule. If you stay out of trouble, you get a fresh start. And you just, after this time is spent, and also I have to add here that in the UK, they have a very robust system of parole, community service, so that people aren't just released from prison into the community without certain aftercare practices put in place in the community that they reside in. So there's a lot of support for persons when they're leaving prison in the UK, which makes this law easy to access for people who have a minor conviction or a short prison sentence, to know that after I have spent 2 to 4 years in the community rebuilding my life, I can move on because my conviction will be spent.
You know, Sikapin, thinking about this, I'm wondering if Vision and Mission, I know they help with their people get a lot of documents like birth certificate and ID cards and all of these things.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they are
assist
allowed
with
to
that too.
assist with, you know, people getting presidential pardons, because an important institution such as this, they have a clientele too that
Yes.
will leave them with convictions as
Yes, absolutely.
well. Go ahead.
And so why does it matter what other countries do? Again, when people can work and build stable lives, everyone benefits. Not just the individual, not just his or her family, not just the community, but the country. It reduces crime and cuts reoffending, as I mentioned earlier. And it shows that the country believes in rehabilitation and not lifelong punishment. Because we see, prison, yes, is a punishment, but why should you continue to be punished once you have left? Systems like these show that people can change if given the opportunity and the resources and the support to do so. So we are calling for the change that is required, which would include clear time frames so that clear time frames so convictions can become spent automatically after rehabilitation, an easier process for expungement of old or minor convictions, and especially when they involve juveniles, in this case, and others, and faster decisions on pardons and fairer access to everyone. You shouldn't have to, go to a specific person to get your issue dealt with. God was lucky in that regard that he was introduced to this individual, but everyone should have the same level of access to whatever service is being offered by the state to get a presidential pardon.
Agreed. Agreed 100%.